Graded 1-8-60, and we already did 8-59 in case you were dying for help with that one. I didn't record it. That's not part of it. But I'll just flash that up there real quick. And now we're doing 8-60. 8-60 says, assume a DVD player loses 60% of its value every year it is in a video store. Suppose the initial value of the DVD player was 80. What multiplier would you use to calculate it? Anybody have any ideas? It loses 60%, so what do we do? You got something, Rocco?
So you multiply 80 by 0.6.
What point?
0.6. So the multiplier you use is
0.6. Does everybody agree?
Yeah.
Really? So let's pretend that the thing cost $100. Just for fun, let's pretend. And so if it loses 60% of its value, what does it cost next year?
$60.
It lost 60%. What's 60% of it?
Lost 60%.
It'd only be $40. So do you want to change your, because if it lost 60, that means you know what I mean? That means I kind of had to subtract 60 off of it. So if it gets cheaper by 60%, then you're paying 40% of it. Does that make sense, or you guys don't get that? There's a math notes box on that. So, watch. It started out as $80, right? So, we know that it lost 60%. Does anyone know how to, on a calculator, find out what 60% of 80 is? What do you do, Rocco?
You multiply it by, well, are you trying to find 60% or 40%?
Well, I was trying to convince you guys that our multiplier is 40, not 60.
Okay.
So I was gonna...
That's 0.4.
Yeah. But just to prove to you, in case you guys don't really buy that, or don't understand why the multiplier is going to be 0.4 instead of 0.6, if I take 60% of this, you know when you multiply something by a percent, you say 0.6, right? That'd be $48. So 60% of 80 is $48. But it says I'm losing 60% of its value. So that means I'd have to go 80 minus 48. That's only going to be worth $32. So the faster way of finding out what it costs after it loses 60% is just to simply go 80 times 0.4, because that'll give you that same number. Okay, so are you guys okay that it's 40? The multiplier is 40?
I think so, yeah.
I'm going to say $80 loses 60%, so the multiplier is 100 minus 60, which equals 40%. The multiplier is 40% or 0.4. Let's just say it's 0.4, okay? What's the multiplier you would use? Okay, so letter B. What is the value of the DVD player after 1 year? Does anyone remember? Because I think we already calculated that.
$32.
Yeah.
34, something like that.
32.
32.
See, because 80 times 0.4 is 32. So it's only worth $32. So that's the answer to letter B. After 4 years, there's another answer. So now what do we do after 4 years?
We keep going.
You want to just keep doing it? So should we make a little table?
Or should we just multiply 32 by 0.4?
So it started out at $80 and then it was $32. Now you can...
We should do that, but keep going to 4.
Yeah. Now, you can keep doing that, or if you wanted to, I'll bet you Shelby would be able to find the formula, or the little, she'd probably be able to find the y equals a times b to the x for us. But let's go ahead, we'll do it both ways. So let's do it this way. So you're right, you can just keep timesing it by 0.4 if you want to, and then you get, now it's 12, see, it's losing value quick. Now it's only $12.80, and then times 0.4, and now it's $5.12. Thing's not worth much. Times 0.4, and now it's only worth $2.05. Okay, so we can say it's worth $2.05. What is this thing? It's a DVD player. They just depreciate a lot. If we wanted to, couldn't we go like this? Come on, Shelby, do your magic. What's the starting value?
Wait, was it, okay, it was 80, sorry.
Yeah.
And then 0.4.
So if I wanted to, I could use this little formula, and I could have just gone like this. Y equals 80 times 0.4 to the fourth, right? Because I was looking, that's the number I was looking for. We had to go times 0.4 times 0.4 times 0.4 times 0.4. We could have this would maybe be a shortcut if you know how to raise stuff to that value on your calculator. I could have gone 0.4 raised to the fourth, and then times that by 80. And hopefully I'll get the same answer. See, I got the same exact answer. So whichever way you think is faster, it probably made more sense for you guys to just do it this way. But if it would have asked you how much is it going to cost after 20 years, well, you don't want to keep multiplying by 0.4 necessarily. You could just use a shortcut. Anyway, that was letter B. Moving on, letter C. Write a continuous function oh, we already did it! Right? It said write a continuous function, so there it is. Y equals 80 times 0.4 to the x. It's continuous because it's not in t. You know that if it's a sequence, it's t of n and it's got an n, but it's continuous right here, it's got a y and an x. But it's still y equals a times b to the x.
Didn't we have the exact same numbers on a different problem yesterday?
We might have. I don't really remember whether we did. Oh, I have to write a continuous function with v of t, though. So here's the function we made up, and then we're just going to call it v. It wants us to name it v of t. And then, so if I name it v, I think v probably stands for value. And so I'll just, it's okay. I'll just kind of fix it up. There, now it looks, see how sometimes you just want to call it something else? You just want to put it in function notation. So it's still y equals a times b to the x, but we're just kind of spiffing it up a little bit, so it's got function notation now. Because t stands for time and v probably stands for the value. And then letter D is, when does it have no value? Is there any time, if we kept going and going, that it would ever have no value at all?
Nope.
Yeah, so we're probably going to say never. Right? Let's look and see what the...
Well, in the real world, they'll probably just kick out 1 cent.
Yeah, so there's two different answers to that, huh?
Well,
According to...
That actually happened because, I bought a really old game guide once, and, for video games. It had, all the stuff in it for the games.
So Game Shark or Game Guide?
Game guide.
Oh, Game Guide.
Yeah, like a big old book. Yeah, I bought one of those. And it was the game was a couple, 4 years old or something like that. Or no, older than that. And only paid a penny for it. And it was $20 in perfect condition.
So let's see how we can answer their question. We know according to the model, it's kind of like that thing I said where when I can't really walk, if I keep cutting my distance between myself and the door in half, how I'd never be able to get out of the house. It's the same thing. It'll never get down to zero according to the model. But in reality, at some point, it's not going to be worth any money. You know what I mean? It's just going to maybe it'll break, or maybe it will be worth a half a cent, or a quarter of a cent, or it just won't, at some point in reality, it will, become worthless. It will become, I'll just say it'll become worthless? Can I say worthless?
It's less than worthless.
If it breaks.
Then
Or
maybe-
becomes less than a penny.
Then maybe $17 off. It's less than
Right, so there's kind of two answers to that. And then, I think oh darn, okay, so I have to stop this. I don't know if it'll let me,